Hey guys, welcome to the Gods Unchained beta with the Professor. Alright, it's time for our Monday Mythic meta for the ranked weekend event that ran on March 26th, 27th, and 28th. Let's take a look at the results. Alright, it's finally happened. 23 wins officially to make it into the top 10. 22 wins, not good enough. We have 4 players that got 24 out of 25 wins. Well done. We had several players with 22, 21, and 20 wins over several pages. Let's go ahead and take a look at what our top players used. All right, our top 20, 7 players in the top 20 used Magic. Looks like Magic is back. We have 6 players that used Death. Death has been on a steady increase. After a huge boom last week from Nature, you can see that only 4 players in the top 20 used Nature. And then we have Light, War, and Deception with 1 player each in the top 20. In our top 10, Magic took 1st and 3rd place. Death took 2nd, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 9th place. And Nature finished out the rest with 4th, 8th, and 10th place. So Death has become really popular lately. So our top wins, we can see that Nature, Death, and Magic, the best decks, had 24 wins each. And then the other 3 gods, Light, War, and Deception, 22 wins each. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the decks in detail. Our 24 wins Magic deck is our Control Ramp Magic. With the nerf to Blast Wave, we've been seeing players switch over to Clear Mind, and it looks like it's working just as well. We have our usual removals with Early Ramp. We have our mid-game removals, Astric, Cersei, Demogorgon, and then we have our late-game package consisting of Frey, Avatar Magic, Helion Elite, and Echofawn. Not much to say about this deck, except it's still pretty strong. Our top Death deck had 24 wins, but there was also another variant of Death with 23 wins. As I mentioned earlier, Death took 5 of the top 10 spots. The 24 win Death deck is a board wipe Death deck. This one's a control version. You have plenty of removals and ramping, also with card draw. You then follow that up in the mid game with stalling and removal, Apocalypse Now, End Times. And then you finish off with a strong end game play by Raising Dead, Echofawn, or Trial of the Underworld. And you supplement that with some healing from Blood Ritual. The other variant of Death had 23 wins. This variant is an aggro zoo version, where you're looking to make wide boards with strong minions. You have some decent removal with Blight Bomb, Amazon Heart Eater. And to complement this deck, the 2 recent buffs to Cruel Overseer and Undead Chimera helps this deck be more consistent. Our other 24 win deck is a Nature deck, and this one's the control variant. You have strong early statted minions with Underbrush Boar, Black Jaguar, Pyramid Warden. You complement that with some good removal like Canopy Barrage, Selena's Bow, Lightning Strike. This deck packs plenty of mass removal with Wildfire, The Hunt, Enchanted Vines, even Vinebond Jotun. You stall to the end with Demogorgons. And then you have a strong late game value card in Dionysus. And now our 22 wins War deck. This one's a Control Warrior version. You have early removals to make it to the mid game. Auric Rush, Avalanche Strike. You have Relics, Carnage Sweep. You have strong mid game plays with Demogorgon, Enos, Hyrtacus, and Hector. And then you have strong end game with Avatar of War and Ares Runeblade, complemented by Slayer God Power. Alright, so far what we've seen is Control Magic, Control Death, Control Nature, and now Control Warrior. What about our next deck? 22 wins Deception deck, Aggro. And guess what? This one is 100% Well Core. Welcome cards and core cards only. What we've seen before is that a good Hidden Rush Deception deck plays aggressive enough that if it gets the jump on your opponents and gets to an early start, it could put the game away before your opponent can stabilize. One thing to point out about this deck, especially this player, is that Cheat wasn't the default God Power. Looking through several of the matches, I could see that the player varied their god power depending on the matchup. So this Hidden Rush Deception deck actually includes a little bit of late game insurance with Secrets Broker and Rapture Dance. And finally, our last 22 wins deck is our Zoo Light deck. You have your strong early game with the Cudgel, Ritual Rod, Blind Martyr, Shield Bearers, Pyramid Warden. You have your Olympian Guards. You have your strong mid-game plays with Light's Levy, Highborn Knight, Master of Indulgences, Canonize. And then you have your end game with Isadora, Asterius for sure, and even Hydna. So what we've seen is that even though there's a lot of control decks that did very well, we also saw variants of other decks, Deception and Light, that was more on the aggressive side of things. So I think partly in response to the huge representation of nature players, 37%, and a positive win rate of 52%, we saw that Death and Magic came out stronger this week to counter nature, both with positive win rates over nature. And what does Death and Magic have in common? They both have ramp and removal. The other three gods, with War, Deception, and Light, not having access to much ramp and limited removal, struggles against nature if they fall behind specially. Alright, so that's our meta review for this weekend. One thing to mention is that this weekend was the first time that the prizes will be for the next expansion set. So don't expect to receive your packs for the ranked weekend events soon. The next expansion set has not been announced yet, and the name for the expansion hasn't been provided. So I know a lot of people like to ask when they're going to get their prizes. So just a heads up, we won't be getting these for a while. However, the Gods Unchained team is keeping track of prizes earned. So when the expansion does release, that's when we'll get our prizes. Alright, congratulations again to our top players and to everyone that did well. Good luck on your packs when we get them.